Hello, everybody. Welcome to another day of Gardening Plus with myself and normally at HealyMeans, but sadly for me, mostly, she is, doing her life stuff, so she won't be able to join me today. So it'll just be me, myself, and I, and you, lovely people, hopefully. But well, she might be away for a little while. She'll try to join us when she can. So our schedule is going to be very changing up in the next few weeks so I can find my new normal, what works best for me without Healy. But otherwise, the show must go on, as they say. All right, we are Gardening Plus, as I said. I am Joy, and typically we are coast to coast gardeners sharing our beyond the basics experiences, intermediate knowledge, and advanced antics. Watch the chyron at the bottom. Let me pull them up for our information. And feel free to exchange ideas, tips, and tricks with us and each other in the chat. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, typically we would introduce ourselves, but since I'm the only one here, it's just me. So here I go. I am Joy. I am in upstate New York, zone 6B. I utilize all manners of gardening styles, in-ground, raised beds, containers, indoor growing, and hopefully I'll be able to add a greenhouse into the mix sooner than later. I also have, how many are they now? We did cull, I think the word is, we did cull some of the roosters because it was getting bananas early in the morning, and sometimes way before the sun rose, they were making a racket, and it was not good for us or obviously the neighbors. So we took 3 of the roosters out. I had 5 roosters. That was ridiculous to begin with. It never should have gotten out of hand like that. So I took out 3 of the roosters. So we're down to, was that 12? So I have 2 roosters left because one's the oldest, the main man, and then a new one that hatched back in the summer. So something will replace the old man when he goes. But he might be here for a while. So we have the 2, and they are making respectable levels of noise in the morning. Let's see what else. So what did I say? 12 or 12? So that's 10 hens, 2 roosters. Hello, MJ Knack. Thanks for being here. Fish, orange, white eyes. Hi, Robin Gardens. Hello from Chicagoland. I'm glad you're getting warmer. I don't know what's going on with the Northeast, though we are not catching up to that nonsense. Let's see. Current weather. I actually took a little video for you guys. So let me play. Here we go. If you can hear that crackling, that is snow, icy snow falling on the ground. Yay. So no outdoor gardening for a little bit of time here, even though I think the 10-day forecast is saying we're warming up. Let me check on that. Yeah, it's supposed to be 49 tomorrow. So that's a major shift from today's supposed high of 34. And it looks like it's going to be in the mid to upper 40s, even 50s even 60s. Wow, we are getting a heat up. But I feel like this is our fake spring. I know a lot of you got your fake spring like a couple of weeks ago, but we didn't have that fake spring. So I feel like this is probably our fake spring, and then we're going to get freezing again because that's just how we roll around here. What else? Oh, so I don't know what's going on with New York. Maybe it's just this area downstate, but the kids were off today because it was reported that the snow was going to be hitting us midday, and it was going to start be like icy. And I had my trip. I didn't believe it, but we'll still see. But so the kids are home, but they've already used up all their home days, snow days. So they're doing remote learning. So they got their Chromebooks, their iPads, whatever the school provides them, and they put in a few minutes with the teacher, and then the teacher sent them home packets from school, so they had work to do. But so everybody's home today. Long story short, everybody's home another day. It's just been like a bit much, but it's been a bit much of a winter. So what can you do? All right. Yay, fake spring. That's right. Yay, fake spring. Because I need this day or days to do my winter sewing. I don't like to be outdoors when it's 30 degrees, even 30 degrees, and my fingers, aren't going to be cooperative even with gloves and touching cold soil and all that and plants. So, well, not plants, seeds. But yeah, so I'm excited for this warm up. That means I can get some seeds in the containers anyway and get that out of the way because there's a whole packet that I have set aside for this and I haven't gotten to it till now. In the prior years, I was able to get them out in January, February, and now it's already March, and here we are. All right. What do we have next is what have I done this week so far? I just released a short a few hours ago, if even, on the update on my seed sowing in the basement. The plants I started in December, they're chugging along. I have been neglectful pretty much. They really need to be uppotted. They are also needing some fertility in their systems, so I need to start cracking up on that. But also in the last couple of weeks, I did sow some more seeds because it's time. And I did say I was going to do that live, but I didn't because I'm just not in the headspace. I have been MIA from YouTube for a little bit, and this live stream is the only thing that keeps me engaged at the moment. I am just not there. So what I did sow, which is also you'll see in the video, is I started the hot peppers, eggplants, dill, parsley, cilantro. I need to do anyway. Oh yeah, second round of onions and the cardoon. But it was on the 20th. So it's been like 11, 12 days already, and the cardoons still haven't come up. So I believe, and I bought these seeds on sale. So I'm leaning towards, and I tried the baggy method of germinating some, and those didn't come up either. So I'm gonna say those were duds, old seeds or whatever, or neglected seeds. So I'm not getting cardoons this year, and my time is running out on getting these up. So it looks like maybe next year for cardoon. All right, so that is what is up so far. Our word of reflection for today, and I forgot to, do a blurb of it. So I'll just tell you, is going to be phenology. So this is a word that's going to come up later in the main topic of today. So watch out for that. So it is the practice of planting by nature's cues, using seasonal signs from plants and animals to determine the best time for gardening. Robin says, I need to plant peppers. Let me see. I haven't done this in a while. Not too late, but I just need to do it. Yes, not too late. But definitely, whatchamacallit, the sweet peppers is next. And also, I have to re-sow some of the hot peppers that I already started because they didn't all come up. So that is on the menu for this month. But yeah, March is a big month for, oh no, did I forget that piece of paper? Oh, bummer. March is a big month for a majority of us. For me, it's still mostly indoor sewing, but that means I'm doing a lot of indoor sewing right now. In the beginning of the month and then at the end of the month, because I'm currently at my 10 weeks till average frost date. So then mid-month will be 8 weeks, which is kind of like a big deal. 8 weeks is usually a lot of plants are needing to be started at that point when you're putting them out towards your frost date. How many varieties am I doing for peppers this year? Oh, I haven't counted. At least 8. I know that because I think I have at least 5 hot peppers already. Habanero, ghost pepper, a mystery variety. Do I? No, the Thai chili I don't have to because the overwintered plant I have is still going. Oh wait, I think I planted some anyway. Okay, so 5 or 6 currently of the hot peppers, and then the sweet peppers is probably another 5. So yeah, I'm kidding. So I'm close to 10 through 12. I'm not sure. All right. Hey, G Mama. Thanks for being here. Lovely to have you. Oh, I guess if anybody wants to come up, I'm supposed to share the thing. So here we go. Share the link if anybody wants to come up. There it is. Oh, I gotta make that go away. Sorry. There we go. So many technical things. All right. What's next? Oh, right. I'm supposed to have that piece of paper, but I didn't bring it, so that stinks. I can. Oh, it was the list of what you should be sewing this month, like from a professional, not just me ranting on and on. Where did I put that? I guess I could pull it up, but I don't want to. Let's see. Sorry for the clackety clackety. Is it this? Show me the guide. Here. Is that it? Nope, of course not. Resources. Oh, I want to come up. Oh, it's already coming up. Growing guides, is that it? No, garden planner. No, that's not it. Oh, here's one. All right, here we go. Can I share this screen with you? Let's try to do that. Share screen. Yep, that's it. Yay. It's not very big, though. That's the problem with these. Is it getting bigger or smaller? Oh, there we go. Bigger. All right, March. We got arugula. Final call for asparagus. Fava beans. I've never grown fava beans. I know that's very popular in the UK and places. All right, your brassicas, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. Also your celery. You can start your Chinese cabbage at the middle of the month and your collards. Your leeks and onions. This is close to a closing time for that. Your other greens, lettuce, mustards. Your your Asian greens are good for this time too. Spinach, you can start. Yep, I think that's like a 10-week thing indoors anyway. Is that right? So yeah, I'm gonna have to start that, but it's not on my list, oddly. What else? Turnips. Oh, most of these are like direct seeding. So I wouldn't hasten to put roots indoors. I'd wait till the temperatures were like what it says on the screen here. Oh, you can't see the mouse. Oh, that stinks. So there's a soil temperature part of this chart that tells you your outdoor soil temp, which we will get into later on today as well. So if you follow that, then you can see which ones are good to plant outside. All right, let me take that out. There we go. Now what I'm doing, so I mentioned peppers. I'm going to be resowing peppers. My brassicas. I'm going to be starting my brassicas. And then what do I have that's not typical? So that's February. So for March, so I've got like 2024 and 2025, and I'm cross-checking. So yeah, I have spinach there. I have all the flowers. Okay. And then sweet potato, cut it, start the slips for sweet potatoes. So get sweet potatoes into some moist medium so you can get some slips. And I have ground cherry. I mean, this is more mid-month, so I can wait on some of these. But brassicas for sure, winter sowing stuff for sure, and then the rest of my peppers are in store for me this month. All right, put that over there. Let's see. G Mama is cleaning her hydroponics. That's the thing with these gadgets, and the reason why I didn't continue with hydroponics. I had like a little, air garden system way back when they were first starting out, and it's cute and all, and it grew cute little dwarf tomatoes. But it's always the maintenance of all these gadgets. Like I have humidifier that every month or so you gotta tear it all apart and scrub it and I do it because I have to, but I hate it. What did G Mama? You did a great job on Urban Gardener last night. Congratulations. Let's see. G Mama is growing fava beans violetto for the first time this season. All right, she'll let us know later on how she likes those. And watermelon radishes. Interesting. Robin has allium germination has been slow. Oh, interesting. Okay. Could be old seeds because I haven't had an issue. They've done pretty well for me. Oh, and Robin says watermelon radishes are tasty. There is a thumbs up for watermelon radishes. Cool. All right. So the topic for today, let me see where we're at, is when to plant. So for those of you, zones 10 and up, you can plant whenever. So you're outdoors, unless you're succession sowing, then you would be planting in the little containers there. But I think 9 and down is when you are starting, at least for the March timeframe, mid-March, spring per se. So I think 9 and 8, then 7, 6, 5. You're definitely just still doing indoor sowing. Now, obviously, it depends on where in the country you are located. And this is the United States. I have no clue about any other parts of the world. Like the UK is mostly zone 8, and it's mild winters there. So you do both a lot. You do a lot of indoor stuff and outdoor stuff. And zone 9 and down, you still have to be prepared to, for the freak cold snaps. So you still have to be covering things if they are plants that need that. But a lot of the times, the seedlings are still tiny. They're acclimating, so they should weather any craziness pretty good. Unless you're in like hail territory, then that's definitely an issue that you should definitely have a cover for. What else? Flash flooding. Oh gosh, that's an issue kind of for us because we have a lot of snow cover. If it rains on top of that, which is on the menu for the weather, then that's rain plus snow melt equals not flash flooding, but like areas of where there's just not enough space for the water to go because there's either ice blocking it or it's already full. The reservoir is full. There's nowhere for the water to go. So it's just going to pool and our roadways are a mess and it's just a mess. So flooding, like I'm on a hill. So the water is just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh running down the hill for me. And it's taking out, topsoil and anything good that I might have put on the ground. So there's that as far as how the weather is not cooperating with us so far. What was I? Okay, when to plant, right. Let me just look at the chats and see if there's anything interesting. First time, let's see. G Mama's first time trying out the watermelon radishes. She is also growing her squash already. And could be root rot for potted plants too. Correct. All right, so for me, I'm doing mostly indoor growing, but for everybody else, here we go. Now, I have covered some of these points in previous lives, so make sure you check out. I think I have a playlist, but if not, I will surely. Yeah, I do have a playlist. I just have to make sure I've added this to the playlist. So check out the playlist if you want to see the past couple of lives that we have gone in depth on some of these interesting points. So not the first, but one of the main markers for when you should be planting your seedlings or direct sowing outdoors is your last frost date, or maybe your what's the word? Oh no, I can't remember. Let's go with the average frost date. That's what I have written down. So that's when your air temperature is not dipping below the 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0% Celsius. There are plenty of guides out there online, and in person, I'm sure you could find to let you know, when that date might be. And then consult your weather guide, your weather channel, your weather whatever for your 10-day forecast to see, if there's going to be any weird swings in the temperature during that time. If you are someone who is going to be planting out seedlings out, then you do want to acclimate them slowly, even though some people swear they don't need to do that, but most of us, I think, do. So you do want to look for your overcast days. That will make it a little bit faster for you to get these plants out. Because I've had great success with not having to take the whole week, let's say, to harden off my plants if they are in a shady condition for a majority of that time, because then I can leave them out for longer and longer periods earlier instead of 2 hours today and 4 hours tomorrow. So most early spring plants hardened properly can be asparagus, artichoke, your brassicas, your peas, your spinach. They can withstand frost for a few hours. So usually at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. That's usually when it's the super coldest before the sun comes up and then warms everything up again. So a lot of these, the early spring plants can take that. So it's not too terrible for them to suffer that. And things like artichoke, they flower. Is it biennial? So it's called. They flower on their second year, and that's what we're eating is the flower. So you kind of want to trick them. So they're indoors, they're growing nice and happy and thinking it's nice and warm, summery environment. And then you put them out in the cold still, and they think they're going through their winter. They go through that for a couple of weeks, and then it starts to warm up. Then they think they're going into their second year. And that's important if you want to get that flower. And for me here, they cannot go through a real winter. They just, rot. So that's why we have to trick them if we want any. Now I have been sorely, what's the word here? I have not gotten a single artichoke all this time. So I'm still working on it. Something else I need to work on is turning on my lights here. If I can find there we go. Yay, light. All right, what else? And I'll also go back to this in a couple of weeks when I do the next show. Mid-March, we can follow up so you can start preparing now. Is your root veg. Technically, they're not roots. They're growths from the bottom part of the stem. There's a word for it, but I don't know it. Your root veg, your potatoes. Oh, by root veg, I mean I guess radishes and turnips and parsnips, with carrots. If your soil is workable, you can get those seeds in. And then your tender greens like lettuce and spinach, like I said before. All right. I wanted to bring up a screen. Let's see. Nope, not that one. Not that one. How do we do this? No, that's not it. Where do I put it? Oh, there we go. Stop screen. Now add screen. And it is it this one? Again? No, it's a different one. Okay, here we go. So we are looking at start seeds indoor or plant seedlings or transplants. So the Farmer's Almanac is a really good resource. It's kind of like a one-stop shop. So you can use this as a guide. And I have a couple of these references in the description if you want to look through them. So it tells you when to start indoors, like arugula, start now. Basil, start now. What else? We got bell pepper there. Here's your brassicas, broccoli, Brussels sprout, cabbage, all saying March, March, March. Celery, you should have done already. Collards, comfrey, not eggplants. I did my eggplants. Fennel, I'm not going to do this year. I still don't know what to do with it, so I'm going to hold off on fennel. Now, I don't know how good the seed will last me, so we'll see. But we'll leave fennel out for this year. Ginger, if you want to start rooting that. I've put my ginger in, and I've seen nothing happening, so it might have just rotted out, and I'm going to need to really start over real soon. That should be on my list for sure. Jalapeno, also February. There's kale, kohlrabi, lavender. Lavender's when I'm having to, I started it sewing indoors. I only got one to come up. So it's going to be part of my winter sewing batch because I didn't get enough come up. Leeks, my leeks are good. But if you are wanting leeks, that's definitely something you want to get going. Mint is also something you want to get out early. Yeah, so we don't need to get through all of that. And then when you want to transplant, you're going to need, not till next month. All right, next one is, remove that. And this for me is a fun one, is going by the moon phase. Now I don't have a pretty picture for you, but so let's just get through it. For those of us who are attuned to the Earth's rotation, super sensitive people, and those that have a discipline to follow schedules, which I am neither of those things. Planting up by the moon is right up your alley, and I know it's popular among a lot of people, and the concept is novel. I like it, and I feel like my peppers did, and my eggplants also did well coming up because I planted them. What is it? As the moon is waxing. We'll get to that in a second. So the moon affects gravitational pulls, how you watch the tides. So that it does influence the moisture levels in your seed starting. So if it's a full moon, then you're kind of, pulling towards that. And if it's the opposite, then it's drawing down kind of. So it says seeds absorb more water between the new moon and the full moon. And what is it? And the moisture is increasingly drawn to the soil surface during this period. This extra moisture causes seeds to swell, promoting stronger germination and better established plants. Moon phase gardening is pretty straightforward, and you just have to, watch for the two phases, which is the waxing, which is from the new moon to the full moon, and then waning is from the full moon to the new moon. So full moon to nothing, and then nothing to full moon. It's best to plant certain types of plants during depending on which moon cycle. So during the waning, I keep forgetting, full moon to new moon. So when it's getting darker, it's when you want to plant your annual flowers, fruit, and veg. No, that doesn't make sense. During the waning of the moon, specify during the waning, and other types during the waxing. Plant your annual flowers, fruits, vegetables that bear harvest above ground, such as corn, tomatoes, watermelon, zucchini during the waxing. So going towards the full moon. And then the opposite is when you would be planting your rooting things, flowering bulbs, perennials, and your carrots, onions, potatoes is when you're getting into the darkness. It's fun and traditional practice, but we plant by the lunar cycle and it makes sense for the rest of our lives. So for me, I have so much going on that, watching the moon cycle is not going to be added to the list, but I still like the idea of it. Robin's asking, why no fennel this year? All right, maybe I'll put it in. You're making me feel bad. All right, now, one of my more favored cues. Oh, wait, let me go back to that screen with so this screen also has the almanac. This also has the moon cycle. See, it's got snow icon, and then it's got a moon icon. So if you want to do the moon by the moon, then you could kind of follow this loosely because it's, I guess, pretty accurate. Hello. Yeah. So there you go. It's right there for you. Just look at it. I won't, but you are welcome to. All right, let's get that out. Now this one is going to be this screen. All right. So next is going by nature cues, both flora and fauna. So we're not talking about Poxitani Phil, in Pennsylvania, or it's going to be a list here. There's Oregon's Fufu the hedgehog, Florida's burrowing owl, North Carolina has a pig's paw Penny the squirrel, New York, I didn't know this, had a Cloxatawny Henrietta the chicken. Texas, Bee Cave Bob, and Oregon, Stumptown Phil the Beaver. Those are our spring Avengers there that usually fail. So this is fun for me because you're not just learning about plants, you're learning about plants as well as animals that you normally wouldn't be like paying attention to. They're just like, yeah, whatever, they're out there, they're cute or they're not, but you don't necessarily acquaint them with your garden, but now you can. So here we go. Phenology, the practice of planting by nature's cues. That was our word of the day. So this time-tested method helps gardeners align their activities with local climate conditions more reliably than fixed dates. That's right. So here's a few flora plants that you can look to herald spring. That doesn't mean this is usually, a lot of these are early spring. So I would give myself 2 weeks to a month from whatever these cues are to be really safe if you're not doing any other methods. So the Virginia bluebell and spring beauty and service berries, they bloom when temperatures rise and daylight increases, and they provide food for emerging pollinators. Crocus blooms, I know, and I have crocus in my garden, so that's always exciting. So when the crocus blooms, you can plant your radishes, parsnips, and spinach. When your forsythia bloom, I also have one of those, it's safe to plant peas, onion sets, and lettuce. When the daffodils are blooming, now I don't know about this one because the daffodils are crazy in my yard. You can plant your beets, carrots, and chard. When the dandelions, when the dandelions are blooming, it's time to plant potatoes. That's something I'm looking to. Maple trees leafing out. Ugh, I hate those guys. Ideal for planting perennial flowers. Now, this is mapling season right now for us because we've had this freeze and now we're going to have a thaw, which means the syrup or the water is going to be coming up the trees, and that's when the tappers are in there collecting them. So the start of mapling or maple syruping is upon us. Lily of the Valley in full bloom is when you can transplant your tomato seedlings. So these are for our warmer patrons. The apple blossom falling, pole beans and cucumbers can go in. When your lilacs are in full bloom, you can plant your tender annuals and squash. Your peonies, you can plant your melons and corn. And your bearded irises, you can plant your peppers and eggplants. Now I have all of one bearded iris in the yard, and it has yet to bloom for me, so I can't really use that reliably for planting anything. Here's another page. Let me pull that up. Gee whiz, all this pulling and pushing. Okay, stop screen and share this screen. So here's another almanac page, just showing you what I've mentioned: the crocus, the forsythia, daffodils, dandelions, blah, blah, blah. Cantaloupe for the peonies. Look how pretty. So you're looking at the first buds, first bloom. Now we're going to get into the animals. How do you do this? Is this what I'm removing? Stop screen. There we go. So for animals, what we're looking at are bird migrations. We have, thanks, Robin. All right, we got our bird migrations for house martins and Baltimore Orioles. Now, if you don't know what these birds look like, this would be a time to be looking it up. And they return in early spring to breed and build their houses and the like. The eastern bluebird, the American robin. Now the robin is the red, well, the males mainly, the red-chested ones. The females have like a reddishness, but it's very faint. They're, the female birds aren't as pretty as the male birds for their own good. So their arrivals mark transition from winter to spring. The bald eagle in the south is the cue for them because that's when they begin their nesting and incubating eggs in early spring. So nesting activity coincides with start of garden preparation. The wood frogs, are another early indicator. They emerge from hibernation in their pools and they breed and they, lay their eggs in early spring. And then that signals also that the soil is thawing, so that's workable soil, and conditions are suitable for planting. The spring peepers, a very favorite. I know I've heard them in North Carolina already from videos I've seen, so that's why that area can start there, gardening outdoors. So the tiny peepers, you can hear them in the wetlands making their very loud, high-pitched chorus. And so that indicates that the soil is soon to be favorable. The eastern box turtle, they're also emerging from their hibernation. I know I not in a good way rescued one. I don't know what it was doing in our patio. It seemed like a really long ways away. My only idea is that it was dropped by like some bird of prey or something, because I can't imagine. I mean, I know they travel quite a ways to lay their eggs and all, but it seemed a bit out of the way. So, I rescued it and it was our pet for a little bit. What else? So it's warming up when they show up. And then the bumblebee queen is among the first to come up, and she's looking for, food and nesting sites. So she's a good indicator of warming temperatures. Now, there are also pests that wake up during this time. It's not all cute and fun and games. So below are the bugs and insects that indicate spring, but take note that it may be prudent to learn the life cycles of these pests to determine when best to plant. A popular example is the squash bug. So aphids. Aphids are among the first insects to appear in early spring. They emerge when temperatures rise above 50 degrees and new plant growth begins. Aphids, everybody has those. Ladybugs, lady beetles are going to be out because now they have food, which is the aphids. So you want those in the garden. Now, the ones that end up in my house, are those ladybugs or are those just like the fake ones? And I can't remember what the fake ones are called. Excuse me for a second. All right. And then the morning cloak butterflies. Now, I'm not sure which butterfly this is because I've never paid attention that much to butterflies. The only butterfly I pay attention to is not a butterfly. It is a moth, I think. And it is the cabbage white. Well, cabbage white, which is pretty white with little black spots along it. And that is a bugger. Everybody hates it. So one of the first butterflies to appear in spring is the morning cloak. So I got to look out for that. They overwinter as adults and then emerge to feed on tree sap. Their flights signals warming temperatures and start of the gardening season. And also ants, for those of us in the South, ants mean that ant activity means that the soil has warmed up, and they're also tending to their aphid colonies. So yay, those damn aphids everywhere. All right, so that is that for animals. Do we have any show and tell for you? Nope, no show and tell for the animals. And last but not least is soil temperature. Soil temperature is simply the measurement of warmth in the soil. Oh, wait, let me see. Robin says, Asiatic beetles, the fake ones. Ah, that's what they're called. Gotcha. All right, so soil temperature. We want ideal soil temp to be about 65 to 75 degrees, and that's why indoor sowing works well, because that's typically the temperature of one's home. So that's about 18 to 24 Celsius. So nighttime and daytime soil temps are both important. Soil temperatures measured once soil are workable. The exact time will depend on your hardiness zone. So that's your me 6B and whatever you are. The soil temperature will warm up quickly and earlier in the season. In zones that are lower, the soil temperatures may take months to warm up, such as myself. Soil temperature gauges or thermometers are the common way to take reading. I just got one. After all these years, I just got a thermometer. I haven't opened it, but I don't need to open it still, so it's okay. So the temperature gauges are used by farmers and soil companies. For us layman people, you can just get, a thermometer. So in a perfect world, you would check nighttime temperatures to ensure they are not so cold during, the coldest time of the day, and then take the temperature for three days to get an average. So soil readings are done 1 to 2 inches or 2 to 5 centimeters of soil. And then also you can take a sample of at least 4 inches to 6 inches deep. So that's 10 to 15 centimeters for transplants, because obviously they're going in there further. Insert the thermometer to the hilt or maximum depth and hold it for a minute. Do this for 3 days, and then that will give you your average. And then the compost bin is also a good time to measure that if you're working that. And, it's probably not frozen anymore, so you can start turning it. I can't wait to do that. That's like one of my more favorite activities is turning the compost and making and having usable compost when it's all done. The perfect temperature for planting varies depending upon the variety of vegetable or fruit. Planting before this time can reduce fruit set, stunt the plant, and prevent or reduce seed germination. So your tomatoes, cucumbers, snap peas like the soil to be at least 60 degrees or 16 Celsius. Your sweet corn, lima beans, and some greens need 65 degrees, 18 Celsius, and then warmer temperatures in the 70s above 20 Celsius are required for your watermelon, peppers, squash, and then a little bit higher for your cantaloupe and sweet potatoes. So that could be an issue because I've been planting watermelon and cantaloupes, at the same time. So maybe I'm not, I'm setting it back a bit by doing that. So these cues vary by region. So observing local native plants and wildlife is essential. Combining phenology with frost dates and soil temperature checks provides the most reliable planting strategy. And that's that. All right. I hope that's helpful for you as a reminder of when you should be getting your stuff out. All right. We are at good 40 minutes. Oh, I forgot to share the screen. Here is my soil temperature for my area. Let's get down. Can you zoom any bigger? That's as big as I can get it without losing it. So this is for my general area of New York, southern New York. Yeah. So current soil temperature is 29 degrees, nowhere close to where we need it. This chart has the averages for 5 and 10 years. And then, 5 years, 10 years. It was a lot warmer, 5 to 10 year averages. Currently, we are, look, all of this is all below average. And it's very interesting. So it's going to be a while before we get those outdoor temperatures that we would like and any workable soil to use. So yay. All right. Now, it is helpful if you want to support us to watch our videos through, even at fast speed, I guess. Also go through our playlist. If you just want to be doing something else and not really be paying attention, just put a playlist on and it'll just roll through. If you have any questions or comments, always feel free to reach out in the comments or send us private emails. DM if you have Instagram. I am on there. My information is in the description. All right. Today's show covered when it is best to plant either your seeds or your transplants by checking your last frost date or going by the moon phase or taking nature's cues, and finally taking your soil temperature. I hope that was informative. Now, I know we're all busy, and so nothing from the chat. And I think I've updated you on everything. Let me take a sip. Okra is also a warm, loving plant, so I won't be doing that for a while. Now, I have direct sown that, so I'm not super worried about starting it indoors first. I got plenty of okra by starting it outdoors. And there's probably a lot more things I could just start outdoors, but I like to keep busy. I think that's what most of us do when we're suffering through all this coldness, is that we want to be busy, so we start doing things inside. Like, I have plenty of volunteer tomatoes that come up. Now, I'm not sure what they are because I take them out because, I spend all these months on these tomatoes and I know what they are. So I'm not going to be wasting valuable gardening space on tomatoes that I don't. So I do take them out. But if one of these days I do the 7-year rest, then that would be interesting. That would be interesting. Like, I know I get good ground cherry too, but good just cherry tomatoes that come up from whatever seeds that fall down, the chipmunks, the squirrels, the people spit out on the ground, and the chickens too. Like, I throw tomatoes to the chickens, and then the seeds end up on the periphery, and so we get them from time to time. And so that's the tomatoes I just throw back in, but yeah, it's like those tomatoes do really well. And it's like free food that they planted themselves almost. All right. Well, if there's no more questions, and let me update you for the next at least couple of shows coming up. For next show will also be, what is it, March 17th, which is St. Patty's Day. Woohoo! Wear your greens. I will have special guest, Robin Gardens. Yay! I haven't spoken to her in a while. She has been making herself busy with her chats and everything, but other chats. So I'm grateful that she has time for me. And so we will be having a live chat with Robin next week. And then, and the time's going to be a little bit different because it's another day with the kids being off or a half day for school. So I have to kind of change that timing a little bit. So it's just a little bit later. But then in April, I think I'm going to change days and times completely because I think it'll work better because I won't be competing with certain other creators that have this time slot. And not that we cross audience or anything, but I just feel better doing that. And then, I think that's it. I don't have anything lined up for that yet, but that's a ways away. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just be excited for next time, March 17th with at Robin Gardens. And with that, I will say goodbye. I will talk to you all again soon. So I'll harvest more. Bye.